my name is Luca Failla. I'm the managing partner of the Failla&Partners law firm, who is a specialized employment law firm here in Italy, Milan-based, but we provide services in all Italy territory, of course. My firm is a quite recent firm because we established the firm in June, July 2022. It's quite recent. We are currently between 12 and 14 employment specialized lawyers, but unfortunately I have more than 30 years practice in the field of employment law, advising multinational, medium, big size Italian companies in all the areas of employment law. Well, you know, there is the confidentiality, of course, issue, and we have a huge respect for our clients. But in practice, over the past, I would say, 12 months, we represented companies in a very sensitive case, judicial case before the courts. We represented companies in a downsizing project, dismissals, layoffs, and plans reduction, which is the more, I would say, sensitive cases we dealt with it in the past 12 months. Well, that's a very, very interesting topic, because the pandemic we faced over the past recent years modified and changed a lot the way of working in Italian, but not only in Italian organization model. We experiment the remote working, and after the pandemic, many companies continue to experiment the remote working, and with great success, with great success from the employees, and we continue to modify the model. The recent model, the current model, is totally different from the past. The short week model is, in my view, we discussed a lot about this issue, is the new model for companies, and not only in Italy, of course. We had recent experience on the short week models, and I think that that's a very interesting topic to be discussed for many companies, multinational and Italian companies. Well, the first I would say issue to be discussed when we talk about short week model is probably the biggest issues, which is the biggest question: why a company should pay the same salaries to the workers, to the employees, for having less working time. That's the big issue. Why? Why should I pay the same salary, no reduction, for having less, in theory, production, in theory, productivity of my employees in my plant, in my company? That's the huge question. And the first answer would be, well, of course not, because I don't want to pay for having less working time hour. But the real answer is depends. It depends, because the issue is, if I have grant the same productivity, probably the salary is not so relevant. The time, working time, is not so relevant in my organization model. When a company was to move from a 5 days working scheme to a 4 days working scheme, it's essential to consider a double level of legal challenges. The first level is the union, the trade union relationship. And the second level is the individual employees one-to-one relationship. First of all, you need to discuss and to negotiate with the unions at the company level, the company plant level, an agreement in order to move from the model, the 5 days week to a 4 days week. And secondly, it's essential to involve personally the employees, the workers, on individual relationship in order to involve in a very successful way the employees in a challenge in a challenge of the new model. Well, over the past 6 to 9 months, we had recent experience, very interesting experience in the Italian market. We started with the insurance and banking companies who implemented the 4 days week. Allowing people not to work on, for instance, Friday afternoon, one day, and so on. Quite recently, we moved from the insurance and the banking sector to the automotive and production sector, which is for the Italian market kind of revolution, because before many denied the chance to implement the 4 days week in a production, in a plant model. How can we work only 4 days in a plant? And that was the big issue. And recently, two important companies. One is Lamborghini, well known in the world for car production. And the second one is Luxottica, very well known for the glasses production, who implemented successfully the 4 days working model in the plant production. That was a kind of really new for the Italian market. And after them, many Italian companies, I would say, are now studying how to implement the model in their structures. Probably that's the most crucial point in a successful 4 days model. As mentioned before, why a company should pay the same salaries for having less working time from their employees, their workers? And the answer is the company will be happy to pay the same amount of salary, the same salaries. Even workers will work less when in the less time, in the 4 days week, the production level will be granted to the company. That's the answer. In this way, the company will be ensured to receive and to reach the same level of production by the personal engagement coming from the employees, from workers. And that's a win-win model. That's a win-win model. I would pay the same salaries, even if the employees will work less, but even working less, the same production level will be granted. That's the I would say the success key, the key success of the model. Well, we don't have a case study on the matter because it's quite recent matter, and in my opinion, we don't need case study to implement the model. We had a recent company level agreement, as before mentioned, by Lamborghini, which is the worldwide well-known car producer, and Luxottica, which is the glasses producer. That's the recent company-level agreements in the production field. Before Lamborghini and Luxottica cases, we had successful 4 days model implemented not in a production field, but in a banking, insurance, and commerce, trade and commerce sector. In my view, that's a trend. That's a trend for Italian companies, for multinational companies, for Italian companies acting in Italy. And I'm expecting to see new company level agreement in a few months, in the next month. As mentioned before, I'm quite positive on the 4 days week model personally. I think that model could more and more involve employees' participation, especially for young people. Young people want to work on a flexible model. They doesn't want to stay in the office 4 days from 9 to 5, 9 to 6. They want to work freely. They want to work by goal, by reaching results, by deadlines. They don't want to stay because the working time is mandatory. They want to work for you, but they want to work for companies who appreciate the result. I think the 4 days work model is the perfect model for young generation. And I had recent experience with colleagues and friends running HR functions and responsibility. They told me, look, we had a lot of meetings with young people, and the unique question they ask is, hey, but do I work every day from 9 to 5 in the same office? And if the answer is yes, they say, sorry, I'm not interested in your job. It's crazy, but that's the reality. And many companies must consider the young approach, the approach of young generation. If they want to attract experiences, if they want to attract talent people. And I think that's the 4 days work model is crazy, but the right answer to this kind of I would say young generation expectations. Well, that's a very interesting question, because the role of the employment lawyers changed a lot over the past 15 to 10 years. Historically, especially in Italy, where employment law is quite tough, is quite difficult to be understood, especially from multinational, for foreign by foreign companies. We modify, as Italian employment lawyers, we modify our approach. Today, our role is more as a we see ourselves in a very cooperative way to support business companies. Instead of represent companies before the courts in a judicial matters, we prefer to advise companies before, in advance, to make the best business possible by using the Italian employment law. I think that's crucial. As employment lawyers, we need to support companies to make business by using the employment law in the best way, in the best efficient way, like discussing new model implementation, like 5 days working model, and so on. I think that's the role. That's the role of Italian employment lawyers supporting companies in making business here in Italy.